I am excited to be getting into the NaNoWriMo spirit. Give yourself the space and permission to be a person who is a writer. Hey rock stars, it's Mara. Hello, how are you? I'm really excited today. One, because I'm shooting when it's early, a thing I should always do. Note to self, always shoot when it's early in the day. Today we are going to talk about how you can be successful in NaNoWriMo, how you can write 50,000 words this month, even though we are 3 days in. Let's talk about it. Before we get into this video, it's time for the mandatory stuff. If you like writing, reading, or the idea of writing or reading, you can go ahead and like this video. You can hit subscribe so you're part of the next adventure. Some of them will be about books, some of them won't. Here we do lifestyles and adventure, wherever that adventure may take us. And ring the bell, not just because ringing bells is fun times, but because that way you turn on notifications for this video. It makes your life easier. Everybody likes their life to be easier. I have written 2 times with NaNoWriMo and 1. I've been part of NaNoWriMo, I think, for 3 years, although there was one of those years where I was just kind of like peeking around the corner, kind of like lurking. Like, I'm kind of interested in doing this, but I'm not sure I can. And then I tried it 1 year and I failed. And I didn't get very far. I didn't get as far as I wanted to. I ended up with a project that I didn't feel like really gave me anything. And then there are the 2 wonderful, successful years I've had for the last 2 years. So I'm talking to you as someone who's done this, who's done well with it, who's done badly with it, and who has some experience in Seattle doing NaNoWriMo. So let's talk about it. Oh, and I traveled a bit last year in the middle of NaNoWriMo, so I've done that too. The first thing I'm going to tell you seems super counterintuitive. Give yourself time to play. NaNoWriMo should include silliness and fun and community, so make sure you give yourself some time to enjoy creative, like, flow space. Artist work is very different than a lot of other kinds of work because you require an unseen, non-fiscally motivated element, which is creative space. You need a little bit of that, and part of that is having fun. Sometimes I have my best writing places when I've gone out and I've had an adventure with some friends, or when I've dug around in the stacks of the library and looked at things, or when I have just been open to the idea of being inspired by small moments. I consider the part of my life that is about adventure and fun really integral to my ability to be a person who expresses herself really well, really integral to my ability to be a person who comes up with creative solutions when problems happen in various parts of my life. The first year I did NaNoWriMo, I didn't do any really like fun stuff. I was really committed to the idea of like successfully grinding through NaNoWriMo, and I found myself sitting in front of a blank screen and a blank page a whole lot. And you know what? I did 3/4 of a book that I will never pick up again because it wasn't inspired, it wasn't interesting, and I was really disliking that month. So cut yourself a little bit of slack. Realize there's a part of writing life that requires feeding like the creative monster inside. That's what I think of it as. The creative, like, cutesy monster inside of you. So give yourself room to let this month have a little bit of silliness, a little bit of fun, and think of that as part of your writing process. Now, of course, the important part is to make sure it doesn't stop you from getting those 50,000 words done. Use the online resources. The people at NaNoWriMo have spent so much time and energy creating wonderful resources. Y'all, this is a great place for you to be getting inspiration, like community when you don't have the ability to go to a meetup. You can still be part of the online communities. There is the YouTube channel, because YouTube. NaNoWriMo has a Word Sprints Twitter account, which is Nano Word Sprints, at Nano Word Sprints. If you live in Seattle, there's a Seattle Twitter specifically for NaNoWriMo called RymoC. Of course, there's also the NaNoWriMo website, nanowrimo.org, where there are so many things. There are letters from professional, famous authors to inspire you. There are resources, there's a whole forum set all the way through, like, how do I stay inspired, or I don't know where to start, or I'm stuck. There's all kinds of discussions. Just about anything writers could want to discuss have probably been discussed in the forums. I use the NaNoWriMo forums for my writing all year long, and I think they just re-upped the forums. They're new, they're fancier. Ooh. Writing through not wanting to. That is a problem, I think, with writers in general. You'll have moments where you just don't feel it. You're not feeling really inspired, you're not feeling very creative. One of the things you can do with NaNoWriMo is use it as practice of what it's like to continue to, like, hit your head against that wall and just create anyway. I let myself do a lot of free writing, and I think that's a really important thing to be able to do with NaNoWriMo. The words don't have to end up in the final product, but it's worth it to let your brain go on little dalliances and think about things that are not the project that's happening. Because there's what you think you're thinking about, and then there's what's going on in the back of your brain in terms of alleviating stress and concern about the characters and the things that you've been working on. One of the things that has been really successful for me is letting myself have some free roaming space and to really just buckle down and say, no, this is what's gonna happen. I'm committing to getting words on the page, even if they're words just for word's sake. I also think it's really important to take time to be a writer. Give yourself time for NaNoWriMo to go do the research you need to do sometimes, to read about writing from other writers, to learn more about the craft of writing, to take time to read. Reading is such an important part of the writing process. I've actually gotten to a point where, and I know a number of you are gonna have problems with this, where I write in my books, copies of books that I own, over on the edges when I find some sort of prose that I find really impressive, or a sentence structure I'm really curious about, or something I want to play with. I actually take notes in my books now because I am viewing my reading with a writing lens and not just with an enjoyment lens. I'm not saying there's not a reason to just enjoy reading books. I totally am for that too, but I over time have found that it's really enjoyable for me to also do a little bit of deconstructing in books. But I really think there's something to writer lifestyle. There's something to being a person who curls up with a warm beverage and reads a book every once in a while. There's something to coziness. There's something to the ability to want to do a deep dig into something, but you want to know that backstory. It's just like an actor. You do your back research on your character, even when they may never say those things on stage. Give yourself the space and permission to be a person who is a writer. Let the essence of being a writer or a person who has writing in their life be something that you let happen to you as part of NaNoWriMo. Embrace it. Embrace your desire to drink a pot of tea and read a book for 3 hours every once in a while. This is a good time for it because you're doing that as part of your writing space. Most importantly, in my opinion, remember why you're doing NaNoWriMo. There are lots of reasons to be doing NaNoWriMo. Maybe you're doing NaNoWriMo to see if you can actually write 50,000 words in a month. That was my first goal with it. Or maybe you're doing it so that you can get into a regular writing routine, so that you can find a way to put writing into your life amid other things you do, or just make yourself a better focused writer. Maybe it's so that you can build a community of fellow writers. Make sure you use the specialness of NaNoWriMo to help you fulfill those goals. If your goal is to get all the words out, make sure you're really committing to getting those words down on paper. If your goal is really to meet other writers and build a community, make sure you're regularly going to the meetups. Maybe even see if you can set up something that will go beyond the scope of NaNoWriMo. If you're looking for a regular routine, well, the answer is you need to really commit to a regular routine now and figure out how you're going to commit to that when you leave NaNoWriMo. And for me, the real reason I do NaNoWriMo is to take my crazy busy life and remember that writing is part of who I am, with a real focus month on it. So this is the month I always remember, Amara, you're a writer. And I recommend for all of you, especially those of you who are new to writing, it's even worth it just to say to yourself, I'm a writer. You don't have to hit 50,000 words to be there. You just have to be a person who writes. All of you ducks out there, be you sea ducks or ducks that float in other places, I hope you're having a great NaNoWriMo, and I believe it is time to get back to writing. See you later. Oh, and you guys can find me on the forums. I'm Amara in Seattle on the NaNoWriMo forums too. I haven't updated anything yet, but I have been writing. I've been writing in between projects on my phone. As part of my plan, I will do NaNoWriMo updates over on the vlog channel. That's Amara in Seattle Vlogs. Thanks for watching, Rockstars. I hope you guys are having a great start to November, whether you are writing or not writing, or doing creative projects, or doing whatever it is that works for you. I hope that you're having a good transition into this new season. If you're taking part in NaNoWriMo, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to expand my NaNoWriMo online digital community. Regardless of whether or not you're partaking in NaNoWriMo, leave me a comment below letting me know of a book that inspires you, or a piece of writing that has inspired you in your life. I would be curious to know about that, as I will be doing reading alongside my writing as part of my NaNoWriMo process. And if you're a Seattle writer or a Seattle NaNoWriMo person, let me know if you're going to any meetups or anything. I would love to say hi. That'd be great. I'm excited to be going to a bunch of the meetups here. I am excited to be getting into the NaNoWriMo spirit. I know I say this every time, but like, I love this time of the year. Do you guys know why I say all the time that I love it's this time of the year? Because since I started making YouTube videos, I'm finding inspiration everywhere. That's why. Yay! Thanks for watching, Rockstars. Best adventures. This is Amara in Seattle. Now, writing. Always writing, but writing now more. You stayed to the end of the video. Here's the surprise bonus question. Bonus question. Is there a YouTube video or a YouTube creator, maybe a booktuber, maybe someone who part-time booktubes like I do. I have a little booktube on the side, bit of booktube. Maybe there's a creator that you love that talks about books, or a video that really inspired you. Let me know with a comment below. Thanks for watching, Rockstars. If you're writers, I believe in you guys, and you should believe in each other. Support each other with the process of writing, because we all win by being creatives together.